Hi everyone, my name's Andy Robert Shaw. Now I'm going to go through Daily Killer Sudoku puzzle 31556. That's 31556. This is from a short while ago. I've chosen to go through this one because somebody was struggling with it on the Facebook group. So let's get straight onto it. I've got a 4 cage there which is 1 and 3. A 24 cage there which has to be 7, 8, 9. A 7 cage there, my only option left for that is 2 and 5. And I'm only left with 6 and 4 for those two. Right. 17 cage there, which is 8 and 9. So that one's a 7. And those two are 8 and 9 between them. I've got 21 there. That's 21. So these three are 24. And they must be 7, 8, 9 between them. I've got 27 and 17, which is 44. So that must be a 1. Right, let's go through everything still. So 8 is 1, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 5. So I've got 20, 10 and 9. That's 39. So 6 between those two, but I've got a 1 there. So those two are 2 and 4. So the 9 cage is 1, 8 or 3, 6. The 10 cage is 1, 9 or 3, 7. So I've got a 1 and a 3 in each of those. So not 1, 2, 3, must have a 5 and 6, 9 or 7, 8 inside that 20 cage. The 12 cage can't be 3, 9 because it would take up both options for that 10 cage. So it's 4, 8 or 5, 7. Right. Something else that's interesting. I've got 7, 8, 9 there and 7, 8, 9 there. So these three must also be 7, 8 and 9. In the 17 cage, I've got 8 plus 9 is 17. I need something to go there. 7 plus 9 is 16. I need 1 to go there, which I can't have. So I need 7 and 8 there and 9 there and a 2 to go there. So that's a 5 and that one's a 2. Sorry, that should be a 9 there. So this 20 cage is in fact 5, 7, 8. The 9 cage is 3, 6. The 10 cage is 1, 9. So that's not a 1. Right. What I've got here then, I've got 4, 5, 6 there. I've got 1, 2, 3 on the top row. I've got 4, 5, 6 there. And I must have a 3 there. So that's nice. In the top half, I've got 1, 2, 3 on one row, 4, 5, 6 on one row, and 7, 8, 9 for all 3 boxes in that top section. That's just an interesting observation. I've got a total of 16 here, and 45 plus 29 is 16. I must have a 3 as one of those, because I've got 2 and 4 there. Not got a 3 anywhere as a candidate, so I need a total of 13 to go with that. In fact, let's do that first. I've got a 1 in that column, so 9 and 1 that way round. So it's 3, 6, 7 or 3, 5, 8 for that total of 16. Right, I did get to this point earlier on. If I look what I've got here, so this is a 28 cage of size 6. I could still have 7, 8, 9 and a 3 there. Nothing stopped me from putting a 3 there. In fact, I couldn't have 7. In fact, I've got 7 or 8 there. I've got 7, 8, 9. I've got 1, 7, 8, 9 between 4 of the cells, which is 25. I've only got 3 left to go between the others, which have to be 1 and 2. I can't have a 2 in that 1 or 2 in that one. I've got a 1 in the box anyway, in the cage anyway. So I can't have 7 or 8 there because this cage would add up to too much. So let's get rid of those. But I do need 1 of 7. It was 3 in a total of 13. So 3, 5, 8 or 3, 6, 7. I want my 7 or my 8 there. Right. So 3, 5, 6. I've got 2, 4 there. Not a 4 there. The other one of 5 and 6 goes there. So should we try and see what we can have here? I know I've got a 3 there now. Let's see. What can I have there? So 1, 3, 5 is 9 and 7, 8 is 24. So I need 4 to make that up to 28. 135 for 9 and 7, 9 is 25. I'd need another 3 there. 135 for 9 and 8, 9 there for 26. I could have a 2 there. In fact, 4's the most I could have. If I take the minimum numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8 is 24. That makes 4 my maximum there, to make that up to 28. Minimum there, maximum there, 4. But I've got a 1 and a 3 in the cage anyway, so that's going to be 2 or 4 there. Right, so if I look at this set of numbers now, I've got 122, so 3 boxes add up to 3 times 45, which is 135. So this plus this is 13 more than that. So 2 and a total of 15, or 4 and a total of 17, because 122 is 13 less than 135. So 4 with 8, 9, 4, 8, 9, or 2 with 7 and 8, one way or the other. Right, okay, well, I can't eliminate either of those just yet. What I'll point out now, this 35 cage is of size 6. It's missing 3 digits which add up to 10. And it can't be missing an 8 or a 9. So I must have a 9 somewhere there. But let's have a look now at this. In fact, I'll take the 6 out of that one. I'll take the 5 out of that one because of what I've got in these columns. So what could I have in this 15 cage? Four, 5. Right. If I'm just going to go at the maximum numbers I could. If I've got a maximum of 6, that's my smallest maximum number inside that cage. I'd have to have 4, 5, 6. If I got 4, 5, 6 there, I'd have 4 and 8 there. My 5 would have to be one of those two. So this 8 cage would have to be 1, 3, 4. But with 4, 5, 6, or 4 be there, 5, 6, 4, 8. I can't have 1, 3, 4. I've also got a 5 that's touching all 3 of those inside the 8 cage. So I couldn't have 4, 5, 6. Could I have a 7 there? Well, I think I could. 7 would have to go with 2 and 6. I can't have 7, 4 because I need another 4 to go with it, which I'm not allowed. What if I've got an 8 here? I could have 4, 3 or 5 or 5, 2. In fact, if I've got 8 there, I've got 5 and 7 there. So I couldn't have a 5 there. I'd have to have 8 and 2 and 4 there. Um, 8, 2, 5, 7, 4 there. Could I have that? Well, possibly. In fact, I couldn't have that, could I? 8 there. 5, 7. Sorry, 8, 4, 3. It's 8, 3, 4. 8, 3, 4. That means that my 8 cage has to be 1, 2, 5. Right, I can't rule it out. I'll put it in for now anyway. So 8, 3, 4. And if 9's my maximum, it's 9, 2, 4. I'll just put them in for now. 9, 2, 4. Okay, must have 7, 8 or 9 there. Right. I can't have a 9 there though, can I? Because Must have a 9 inside that 35 cage. This cell is touching everything inside the 35 cage, for which I haven't yet populated the candidate, so I can't have a 9 there, because I wouldn't be able to have a 9 inside that cage. Okay, let's do a few more things. So I've got 9 there, which is 1, 2, 6, 1, 3, 5, or 2, 3, 4, but not 2 or 5 there. In fact, I know I've got 1, 3, 4, and 6 between these 4, because that's what's left to go in the column, but not 1 there, because I've got a 1 there. What can I have here? So those 3 add up to 15, and the most I could have there is 11, so the least I could have there is a 4. In fact, I couldn't have 4 there. I'd need 5 and 6 there if I've got 4 there. And 4, 5, 6 would take up 2 options there. So that one's not a 4. 5 would have to go with 4 and 6 between those. Similar situation. 6, I've got 1, 3, 4. I need 2 and 7 between those. I can't have that. 7, I could have 2, 6 or 3, 5. Either of those look okay. 8, I've got a total of 7. Not 3, 4, not 1, 6. So 8, 2, 5. Or 9, a total of 6. Okay, well at least I know I've got a 7, 8 or 9 there. Right. So in fact, of 7, 8 and 9 in this box, one of them has to go there and one of them has to go there. So I could only have one of 7, 8 and 9 in that top row. So that means my other 2 of 7, 8 or 9 in this row could only go there or there. So that means that one cannot be a 5. Right. So, is this looking interesting yet? One of those 2 is a 5. I've got 4 or 5 there, 4 or 5 there. I've got an abundance of possibly 4s and 5s. Right. If I've got 5, 7 there, I've got an 8 there. I must have 8 or 9 as my big number there. So 5, 7 there, 5 there. My 8 cage must be 1, 3 and 4. So 5, 7 there, 8 there, 5 there. So with a 5 there and a 5 there, my 8 cage must be 1, 3, 4. So these 2 touch all 3 of these. So I couldn't have a 3 or a 4 in there. So with 5, 7, I'm left with 2, 6, 8, 9 to choose from. Must have the 2, so 2, 6, 8, 9 there. I can't have anything bigger. Without the 2, I've got at least 6 and 8. And with whatever I got there, it'll push me over 15. So 5, 7 must be 2 there, and 4 there, and 9 there. So 5, 7, I've got 2, 9, and 4. And 4 there, but okay, 5, 7, 2, 4, 9. That in itself sounds quite interesting. So with 5, 7, 9 is my big number there. With 4, 8, I couldn't have 8 as my big number. So whether I've got 5, 7 or 4, 8 there, I couldn't have 8 as my big number inside that 15 cage. So I now know my big number is either 7 or 9. So 9, 2, 4, or 7, 2, 6. I don't have a 3 in there then. 9 and 2, 4 either way round, or 7 with 2 there and 6 as one of those. So I'm going to have a 2 there, 9, 2, 4 or 7, 2, 6. I can't have a 2 inside the 8 cage. The 8 cage, if it has a 2 in it, will be 1, 2, 5 with a 2 there. That's the only way I could have a 5 in the 8 cage. So if I've got a 5, it can't be there. That would have to be the 2 in that case. So my 5 would have to be one of those if that were 1, 2, 5. Okay. So let's keep going then. So 2, 6, 7. 2, 6, 7, 4, 8. 3. 2, 6, 7, 4, 8 and 3 there. So I've got 1 with 4 or 5 there, and I've got 2 or 4 there. Okay, that could 2, 4, 9. Right. Let's play this through a bit more. 2, 6, 7. 4, 8. 3. Not an 8 there. So 2, 3, 6, 7. In fact, I couldn't have a 1 there. Must have a 1 as one of those in that 8 cage. So that's not a 1. 2, 6, 7. 3, 4. And 4 there. So my 8 cage will have to be 1, 2, 5. So 2, 6, 7. 1, 5 there and 2 there. So if it's 2, 6, 7, my 2... Well, I knew that anyway, didn't I? So 2, 6, 7, 1, 4, 5. If it's 2, 4, 9... 9 there. I think my 2 and 4 could be either way round. 2, 4, 9, but not 4 on the top row of that. 4 has to go on the bottom row of that. Okay, well maybe I'm not getting any of that just yet, but let's continue. Right, so so 35 cage. Right, so I said earlier it's missing 3 numbers that add up to 10. This 26 cage is missing 3 numbers that add up to 19. So I must have a 1 somewhere inside this 26 cage, because 3 numbers don't add up to 19 with a 1 in them. Okay. Can I do anything with this 15 cage? I've got 4, a total of 11 without 7 or 8. So I've got 5 or 6 there. Or 6, a total of 10. A total of 9, sorry. Not 1, 8, not 3, 6. So it's 2, 7. Or 4, 5. So I must have an 8 or 9 as one of these. Must have 8 or 9 as one of these, but not both. I've got 8 or 9 there. I must also have a large number here. Actually, must I? Sorry, maybe not. No. I could have a 7 there, I think, still. So let's not read too much into that just yet. But 8 or 9 is certainly one of those two. Well, if it's not, the 9 would have to be that one. So the 9 is either here or here. Right. If the 9 is there, I've got 2, 6, 7, 3, 4, 1, 5, 8. If I got 8 in one of those two, it probably gives me both options still. Well, it depends on which one the 8 is in. Right. Okay. Let's keep going. So, nothing less than 3 can go inside a 20 cage of size 3. So let's put all those in. Right. So 2, 4 there, 5, 6. In fact, what have I got here? So I've got 4 or 6, along with 1 and 2. I've got. In fact, that's interesting. I've got 5 or 6 there. So in this one, I've got 4 or 5, and 7 or 8, along with the number 9. Right. I can't have a 3 there because I need 8 and 9 there, and it would take both options for that one. I must have an 8 somewhere inside this 35 cage. It could be that one, or it could be one of those. Trying to work out which numbers it's missing. But there is a 9 in there somewhere as well. So just have a look at this again. 122, so these two are 13 more than that one, so they're 15 or 17. With 4 there, I've got 8 and 9 for the 17, and 7, 8. So 1, 4, 7, 8 will be 20, and 3, 5. Right, so 4. Yeah, again, I'm not. I don't see why not. 2 there. I've got 7, 8, one way or the other there, and a 9 in one of those, along with 7 or 8, and I could have either 5 or 6 there. Right. I can't have a 1 there because it would eradicate both options for the 1 in this column. So that's not a 1. So just trying to see. I can have a total for these, can't I? I've got 104 as my total for those. So that plus that plus... Sorry, those 3 add up to 14. So 1, 6, 7, 3... I can't have 3 there because I need a total of 11 between those. I'd have to have 6 there. So, in fact, I can't have both the 3 and the 6 in that one. So, they can go. So, sorry, I'll have a look at this again. That was 14. So, 4, 3, 7, or 1, 6, 7. So, that's, in fact, that's got to be a 7 just so those 3 can add up. So, let's do away with the 7s in that row. So I now know I've got a 7 in one or other of these, and that one is 1 or 4. Right, is that helpful? Well, I might just be missing 1, 2, 7 from this 35 cage, but I can't have a 7 in any of those. So if I do have a 7, it must be one of those inside the 35 cage. Right. So let's keep looking. So the 9 must be one of those inside that one. Total of 7 there now. 1, 6, 3, and 4 or 6 there. Or 4, 3, 6, 3. 4, 3, 6, 3. 2, 4, 9, 1, 5, 8, 7, 1, 6, 3, so 1, 4 or 5 there. 1 would have to go there. With 4 or 5 there and 2 or 3 there. Okay. Let's look for something else. So that lot adds up to 24. So minimum 15 there. If we include that, it's 25 or 27. Right. Okay. So I've not done anything with that 22 cage yet. Must have a 1. I keep saying I must have a 1 somewhere in that one. Could that be missing 2, 8 and 9? Well, I suppose it's possible. Right. 1 big number there. Can I dig a bit deeper? So 2, 6, 7, 3, 4, 1, 5, 8, 9, 2, 4, 9. So 2, 6, 7, 3, 4, or 2, 4, 9. It doesn't allow me to have a 4 in either of those in the 8 cage. So 1, 3 or 1, 5 there, and 2 or 4 there. Okay, so 1, 3 or 1, 5. 2, 4, 9, and a 3, 6 pair there, and 1, 5, 8, 7, or 2, 6, 7, 9. In fact, whichever one of the 7 or 9 I don't have in that cage has to go there. So that one is 7 or 9. I need another big one in the bottom row. So that's going to be 8. It's going to be 7 or 8. In fact, can we work out which... I've got 8 and 9 there. If I've got 7 there, I've got 9 there and 8 there. In fact, the 7 could go in either of them. If that's an 8, I've got 9, 7. The 8 could only be that one. So the 7 could be either of them. The 8 would have to be that one if it is an 8. Okay, let's do some more. 2, 4, 9, and the other one of 2, 4. So if that's 2, 4, 9, I've got a 2 or 4 there and a 2 or 4 there, so that's 5, 7. 2, 6, 7, that's 4, 8. The 2, let's see what we've got here depending on that. So 2, 4, 9, it'll be 2, 4, 9 between those. 5, 7. I've got 1, 3, 6 and 8 between those. Right. Um, 2, 6, 7, 4, 8. Sorry, yeah, 2, 6, 7. 2, 6, 7, 4, 8. So if it's 2, 6, 7, the 2 will be there. 2, 6, 7, 4, 8, and 2 there. So in fact, whether I've got 2, 6, 7 or 2, 4, 9, those three add up to 15. That lot adds up to 27. So this lot add up to 18. I've got an 8 or a 9 on that top row. Right. What else could I have? If I've got 6 there, the 6 must be one of those, so then it's 2, 6, 7. If I've got 3 there and 6 there, it's 2, 4, 9. So that depends entirely. The way around they are and what combination I have there go absolutely hand in hand. So 3, 6, 2, 4, 9, and 3 there. 6, 3, 2, 6, 7, 3, 2, 6, 7, 9, 1, 5, 8. And so 6. Right. I think I can eliminate one of my options here. So 3, 6, 2, 4, 9 for a 3 there. 6, 3, 1, 5, 8. 2, 6, 7 for a 4 there. So that one's got to be 3 or 4. I can take the 6 out of that one. Oh, right. Can I take anything out of that one? 5, 7, 8, 2, 6, 9, 3, 4. Right, maybe that's a bit tricky. So, okay, let's do that. 9. 8 there can't go with 3 and 4. 9 can't go with 3 there at all if it adds up to 15. So neither of those can be 3 anymore. So 9, 1, 5, or 8, 1, 6, or 2, 5. I can't have a 4 there either. Right. 8. 9, 1, 5, or 8, 1, 6, 2, 5. Alright. Okay. Alright, 8, 9 pair there. So that one can't be 8 or 9. In fact, 8, 9 pair there as well. So, well, I don't know how helpful that is. It's something I should have spotted a while back. Right. Anything else jumping out? Got to be something. So that's 22. That was add up to 23. If we've got 6 in that one, I could have 2, 3, 4 or 1, 3, 5 in the 9 cage. In fact, must I have 6 in this 15 cage? 4, 5, 6 or 2, 6, 7. Yes, my options for that 15 cage were 4, 5, 6 or 2, 6, 7. So I must have a 6 in there one way or the other. So I don't have a 6 inside as either of those two. So I know now I've got 9, 9, 1, 5 or 8, 2, 5 there. The 5 must be one of those two in this one. So I could have a 6 there and still have 1 there. That's possible. So my 6 goes on the bottom row of this 30 cage now. I know that much. Right. What else? So, just looking at this, is there any way these are interacting? I'm still looking out for that. 2, 6, 7 or 4, 5, 6. Of 5 and 2, I must have 5 or 2. So 2, 6, 7 or 4, 5, 6 contains 5 or 2, and that one is 5 or 2. So these two, in fact the 5 or the 2 must be there. These two, it doesn't matter about that one, but this one is touching all those. So the 2, 5 pair is covered. Right, so that's reduced it some more anyway. I can't have a 1 that my 1 must be in one of those two. Could I have a 3 there? At the minute I don't see why not. So 3, 4, 1, 6, 2, 6, 7, 9, 3, 1, 5, 2. Yeah, I don't see why not. So I'm not sure of a 1, 3 pair between those two. Let's put these in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, not 8 or 9. Okay, let's see some more of the... I feel like I'm eliminating stuff. So 5 with 1 or 3, 2 with 3, 4, or 1, 6. Two, 1, 6, 3. I've got 4, 5, 6 there with a 6 at the top. So 6, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4 means that I couldn't have a 4 in either of those. But I would have 8 and 5 between those. Right. In fact, I should have seen this a while back. 8 or 5 there, 8 or 5 there. I've got a hidden 5, 8 pair, so there's no 8 there. The only place for an 8 is that one then in that box. These 3 add up to 15, so it must be 2 and 5. So these two are 1, 2. So that's 8 there and 5 there. So the 12 cage is 4, 8. No 4s there. Got an 8 in that column, so 9 and 8 that way round. So 2, 4, 9 or 2, 6, 7. I'm sure I said something on this earlier. but I can't immediately see or remember what I said. Not an 8 in that one, not a 2 in that one. That's a 4, so that's a 1. That's not a 1 then. So what? Not a 4. Got a 4 as one of those. That's not a 4. 3, 5, 6, 9. I've not got a 5 in any of those. I've not got a 2 in this one. So the 15 kg is 4, 5, 6. So that's not a 4. That's not the 3 that would have gone with it. That's the same as that one way or the other. Must have a 3 of one of those. So 4, 6, 7, 9. In fact, that's the only place for 9. I've got a 9 in that row. So the 9 goes there. My 3 is one of those, but 4, 6 and 7, not 4, my 4's in that row already, that's a 4. So 3, 6, 3 must be that one. Only place left for a 3 in that column is there. So 6, 1, so 6 and 7 between those, but I've got a 6 there, so 6 and 7, got a 1 there, so 3 and 1, and I can get rid of 1 and 6 from that one. No 6 there, so that's 4, 5, 6, 4. Right. So I've got my 9 in that row now. This one is going to be 2, 6, 7. And that's a 3 and a 6. And my 6s can go from that one. So I've got 3, 9 or 7, 5 to make up that 20 kg. Right. We're on a roll. That's good. So, anything... What set of numbers am I missing from this 35 kg? I've got a 4 there already. I'm trying to look at... I've got a 3 there as well. So... Must have a 3 and I've got a 4. So 3 numbers that add up to 10, not including 1, 3, 4... must be 1, 2, 7 or 1, 4, 5. Right. So we're not including 3 or 4. So only set of numbers that adds up to 10 that don't include 3 and 4 are 1, 2, 7. I must be missing 1, 2, 7 from this 35 kg, which makes that an 8. So no 8s there. That's 7 and 8. So, right. I remember these two were 30 more than this. So it must be either 15 or 17. So that's either 7 or 9. My 8 is one of those two. I've got a 1 there, so not a 1 there or a 6 either. Right. Well, let's put the numbers in. So I've got 1 of 5 and 9 there. I don't have 1, 2, 7. I need a 6 there as well. So the 6 there means that one's not a 6. So 7 and 6 that way round. So that's not a 7. Right. So that's good. 22 kg there, which I've not even touched yet. I've got 1 and 2 there, so that's 3. Right. My only place for a 1 in that column is at the top, so 1 and 2 have to go that way round. So my only place for a 2 now in that column is this one, so that's 2. This plus this must be 15 then, being 13 more than that. So that's 8 and 7. So they're 8 and 9. So let's add this up now. 1 plus 2 plus 8 plus 9 is 20. I need 8 more there, which is 3 plus 5. So no 5 there, no 5 there. That's 6, 4, 5. So no 4 there. That's 2, 1, 6. Right. I've got a 7 in this cage now, so no 7 there. So 2 and 3 there, 7 there, and 5 to make that up to 20. So 3 and 9 there, not a 9 there. That's 5 and 6. So what can I have here then? So that's 16. 7 plus 4 plus 2 plus 3 is 16. I need 10 more. My only way to get 10 is 1 plus 9, but I've got 1 there already. So 1 and 9 that way round. So 8 there, 9 there. So not 9 there. I've got 2 in that row, so 3 and 2 that way round. 5 and 3 that way round. I've got a 1 in that row, so 6 and 1. I've got 5 in the row, so 4 and 5 and 7. I've got 9 there, so 4 and 9. I've got 6 there, so 5 and 6 that way round. I've got 3 and 4 to make up those two, but I've got 3 there, so 3 and 4. Not 4 there. Not 5 there either because of that one. So must have an 8 there and a 7 there. Right, must be close now. So 3 there, so that's 9 and 3 and 8 and 9 and 4 and 8 and 5 and 4. And that's it. So I hope you found that helpful. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.